just like to thank all those people who gave their extra support to the channel via super thanks button option on YouTube. Rain will.
Okay, so we would like to thank Josh McCarthy for sending $10, Cavitating for sending $5, Alex Gifford for $10, Manu18 for €2, Alexander W for €15.
Well, he sent every video €5
Yeah,
each, so
€5
the total
each.
is 15. So
For the bot for sending $10
The
and
bot.
Alonso Mario Navarro for sending $10.
okay, we really appreciate it, guys. You sending, your thank you through the super thanks button. Really I'm gonna start mentioning the people that sends their via super thanks maybe on the next video. So yeah, thank you, and let's start the build.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do another DK05FX desk. It's very big. So here it is. Just opened it. The tempered glass is there on the table. We're done removing the desk from the boxes. Those are the two motorized legs and some other parts and panels there on the table, and the glass. It's really hard to work with and to assemble, but with the help of Rain, she's the one who helped me get it out on the box, and now we'll install the two motorized feet. So now after assembling the case, the desk, and then testing all the PC components, of course installing the Windows 10 operating system, and then installing the blocks, the GPU, the CPU, and some of the radiators. This is the time that I start planning for the build, the tube layout, where the cables are gonna go. So first I'll put the components and some of the parts, like for instance the radiators are mounted, and this is where I'll start my layout, because this is a fixed position, so I want this to be the center of the layout. So this is where I started. So now I've decided to put the motherboard in the middle of the case, because the original position where you would put it is on the left or on the right side, because this is a dual system desk. But now it's just a single system, so I've decided to put it in the middle, so I could make a loop layout or a design that would balance, the single setup. So the only problem that I'm into, maybe this part on the back, I'll put a thick acrylic and maybe cut a hole in this. That acrylic would serve as a how do you say this? It would reinforce the back part of the case, because I'll be cutting some of the panels there. So I'll be mounting it here on the lower part and the upper part of the case. So the rigidity would not be a problem. It will still be strong as before. So, but my real issue is how would I go on this route, making it how do you say this, to connect the CPU and both the GPUs. So I'll try to use some fittings so that the tubes going in the GPU and the tubes going in the CPU would be right here in the middle. Okay, so that's the big puzzle that I have to resolve. Okay, and also I'll be putting a radiator, extra radiator here, and also on the other side. So it will be 4 radiators in total. So this two is gonna be fixed here, and yeah, the position of the reservoir will also be here in front of the outlet. And I'm still waiting for the extra reservoir because I only have one now, and also the 2 extra radiators. And then okay, hopefully I could fix it because it takes me a long time to plan my build, because for most of the people don't know, I do not draw my loop layout. I don't render it in a computer or anything because I can't draw, you know. So every time I do this, you know, I just stare at this component or this desk and I plan my layout in my head. So it's much more complicated because I have to think about where the cables are gonna go, or how, and also if you're familiar with me building my builds, I really need to have a balance on the tubing, and then some sort of symmetry. And of course, I've done so many desks, and I don't want this layout same as the others. So I really don't copy even my own builds because I want everything to be different, you know. I do builds for that specific client, so I want that specific client to have a distinct loop layout, other than even if there would be a same case that I've done before. So yeah, I want it to be different for that specific client. So that's very hard for me to do because I've done so many builds, and sometimes you lose lose out on the design or what. But I'm just glad that I kind of think something different. So yeah, I hope this would turn out to be a good build. So yeah, and I'll let you see if I've come up with an idea to make it so that the tubes would go, everything would go in the middle, and then I'll go from there. So this is the only thing that I need to fix or find the solution, and then the loop layout will be changed as I go along. But I already have something in plan that I'm planning. I wanted this to be different because most of the time you see my builds, all the tubes are lined up on the same level, right? I want this to be like the first tubes would be lower than the second and the third. It's like a staircase, and the tubes would go up like that, so that it would be different. solution that I came up with. Now the outlet and the inlet on the GPU and the CPU is now in the middle. So as you can see, by using multiple kinds of fittings, like a 90 degree rotary fitting, male to male rotary, male to female, and an offset fitting. So here it is. And by using a T-fitting and the stop fitting, this would look like it's the CPU inlet and outlet. Seems that it is connected, but it's not. Okay, it just bonded the ends of it, the stop fitting, so it would look it's like connected, right? But it's not. When it goes, the coolant goes in, it rotates here and goes out there. Okay, same as the GPU side. Okay, and the radiator fans are mounted. Here's the acrylic on both sides that will be mounted here, and will cover all the cables, and here the power supply side, and this will also be painted black. And I'll show you the back side of it. This is the acrylic that I've made, is I've already painted it, so it's like this. Okay, to cover the original motherboard mountings, and also all of the aluminum cutouts were also painted. So here it is, and the acrylic is mounted by a black nut and bolt, and the motherboard tray is screwed by a stainless countersunk. Okay, and here's the lower part. It's the underneath of the case looks like. So all the parts also where I made cutouts were painted. So on the other side, and here are some cutouts underneath the motherboard tray. I don't know if you could see it. This is where I will route my cables, and then make another acrylic cover to make it clean. Okay, going to this hole right here to the power supply. So this is the final tube layout of the build. This is a version 2 because I've done a different layout on the first try, but then I changed it, so this is gonna be the final one, and I'm just gonna finish drilling a hole for the pass-through fitting, because this will be the drain system that's connected to the T-fitting. Okay, this will be the drain going down the case, both of them. I haven't yet drilled a hole there for the pass-through. So this is it. Some tubes are final, but this particular one I will still be adjusting because it's like this. I'll cut around 2 millimeters so that it will be properly aligned. And for some of you guys that's wondering, most of the time tell that using very long runs, it will sag, or when it has a coolant, it will sag. But this tubes, and this one is very secure because of the layout. Okay, so this is fine. This is okay also, but this part, the longest one, is gonna sag for sure. But that's the reason why I bonded this two T-fitting together, so that it will hold it much better as opposed to if it's not bonded. Okay, and then aside from that, because I'm using a 90-degree rotary, right? Most of the time it turns because it rotates. Okay, but the simple solution to that is get something that is like, for example, I'll just put the camera right here. Okay, so this one is a 90-degree rotary, so this turns, but try to find a rotary that's very hard to turn, like for example, instance like this. It turned right, but look at my fingers. Yeah, so it was very hard to turn. It's gonna turn, but it's very hard to turn. So, yeah. So yeah, that would help for this one not to go down or up. Okay, so this will be very secured also, even if it's the run is very long, it's gonna be fine. I've done tubes like this before, so it's gonna be secure. Just don't add just some tips, because most of the time I see this, some people put the flow indicator where they do the long runs. Don't do that, because flow indicator adds up so much weight to that. So just make sure when you put a flow indicator, it goes on the shorter runs, or on your layout. Don't put it on the tubes that has been going so long. So, and then you guys might be wondering, why do I have this aluminum things here, there, a level bar here, and some squares. So this will I hope this will help you if you have the same project as mine, and sometimes it applies to also some other builds. Okay, the reason for this panels, this aluminum bars, is to level all the angles. Okay, so that you can eyeball it. For example, I want to see if this one, and the long tube would be leveled. Okay, so what I do is, bear with me. So look at this, and then look at the bars. See? Yeah. So, because if it's not level, if you're looking at the bar like this and the tubes, you would see if it's not leveled, right? Because it's gonna be like this. Okay? So that's how it is. You can see if every tube is leveled. Okay, on this side serves also the same purpose. For example, we'll be checking out the tubes there. So we're gonna look at it. See? Okay, all three are leveled. And then going on this side, now I'm leveling the top part. Okay, so look at this. So what I did was measure the same as here. So if you could see, I'm moving slowly. See? That's how you would know it's properly aligned, because of this bar. Okay. Okay. So this simple things, not complicated things, you know, simple things that you could use to improve your build. Don't settle for, like, for example, I've seen some videos, oh, it's fine, it's aligned here. When you see it, just don't look here on this side because it's bent or it's not aligned. So it's much better to take your time, because you've done spent so much hours on doing your project, and why not spend extra more time for it to be uh, more beautiful or more aligned. That's why this build took me a very long time. I think in total, just an estimate, this would take me 1 full month to finish, because you know there's lots of things to do. So yeah, I hope this simple things would help, you know, when you're doing your projects or whatnot. So yeah, that's it. I'll just update you again later for some of the things that I've done to the build. Okay, guys? Now I'm on the cable management side of the build. So this is all the LED strips that I need to install on the table. This is going on the inside, and those are going underneath and on the back side of the case. So this is how many cables that I'm gonna be dealing with. See all of those running on the back of the reservoir. I've done some of the cable management on the top part, on the inside part. Okay, so doing cable management, especially on this kind of desk, is very overwhelming. If you see these cables here, cables there, oh my god, cables here also. So everything is installed, plugged. SATA power and SATA data on both sides, and it's really overwhelming even for me. I'm used to doing this all the time, but whew, when you look at it, you think that it's not going to be finished. You know. Also on the lower part, this I really need this, the extensions, so that I could properly route cables underneath and put a cover on it so that it will be clean. But you know, there's so many connections there, the PWM, SATA power, all the PCIe cables, extension for the SATA, extension for the Molex. So I'm gonna be maybe tomorrow, because I'm so very tired, and I hope I finish this as soon as possible. So I'm still lining up these cables properly and let them sit there for a while, so that okay. Okay. Here's a simple trick to help you with your cable management. Can you see this panel? It's an plastic electrical molding, so you could put your cables in there and cut out so that, you know, like this, for example. See how the wires go out on a specific area. It's much cleaner, right? So it's just like this, a simple electrical molding, plastic molding, and you just have to paint this one, and then when you lay out the wires inside, you could just put like that and clip, you know, and if you ever need to open, it's gonna be easily opened. And this one also, a small one that I've used in the back right here, so I'll just cover it like this, so at least your cables are properly routed, so you see. And also aluminum covers for the LED strips. This would help to block the sides of the LED strips, not to be so that it would not glare your eyes, and it would just be focused on the tubing or on your belt. So look at it here, see? So this also helps. In all my belts, I always put panel, aluminum panel like this to cover up the sides of the LED strips. Okay guys, and then I put some laser cut acrylic here with the SSD logo to cover the two SSDs and the sleeves, SATA, and SATA power and SATA data cables. I've just finished making the acrylic cover underneath to cover up the cables. So we'll just push this one, memory number 4, so that the desk would extend to its highest position. Okay, so now here's how it looks. It's much cleaner, and this part is screwed with is mounted with 4 screws underneath. Okay, so that if ever I need to get access on the cables, it will just be easy as taking out 4 screws. Okay, I've cut out so that it could go. Okay, I'll just go here so you can see the reason why I made 2 covers, because I didn't want to cover the radiator, because it's the hot air is pushing downwards. So if I would make a single acrylic, it would block the hot air from coming out on underneath the table. So you could see some of the cables here and here. Okay, and on the side. So yeah, so this is much.